All right, guys, before we get into the show, I'm talking about the Lawnmower 3.0. And I don't know if you can hear the buzzing, but I want to let you guys know I do not let pain kill my buzz. Now, Manscaped was nice enough to send me over a Lawnmower 3.0. No pain while you're grooming. I mean, this is a fine finished product, phenomenally built, solid, durable, lightweight. And I'm telling you guys, when you're shaving, literally no nicks and cuts. Get yourself one of these. And I'm going to give you guys a promo code for an amazing discount. So head on over to manscaped.com. I've also linked it below here on my YouTube channel. But I'm telling you guys, what a phenomenal product. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. I know that's a fitting name. You know, you see my shower rants all the time on Instagram. I just thought I'd, call it Shower Lion. So upon checkout, guys, when you get your Lawnmower 3.0, use promo code Shower Lion. You're going to be very, very happy with the product. And like I said, I'm testing it here out on my arm, and I'm really putting in some pressure here. And again, no pain. Well-built product, manscaped.com. Use promo code Shower Lion upon checkout. Let's get to the show.
Hi, this is Noah Fant. You're listening to the Fantasy Football Counselor.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor. We're talking about must-own fantasy football wide receivers 2020. Guys that I must have on my roster at the wide receiver position. Got a list of players here for you guys to target in your draft. So these are guys that really caught my attention. I like the situation that they're in. I like the upside. I like the value for most part. In regards to these guys should have a phenomenal 2020 season at the wide receiver position, okay? Very important. Now, there's a lot of depth at the wide receiver position, so you can wait. So there's a ton of value plays here that I really like for Fantasy Football 2020 at wide receiver. So I'm going to get into that list here for you. Before I get into that, though, make sure you guys head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. The game changer is here. What are you waiting for? Lion mentality. This is the game changer. Draft kits are dead. Cheat sheets are done. You need the 16-round draft solution. The first ever and only video training, sleepers, breakouts, optimal players to draft in each round. Everything you need, guys. I'm beyond excited. I can't contain the excitement because I'm literally handing you a championship on a silver platter. While there is no guarantees in fantasy football, I'm giving you something that's as close to bulletproof as possible. You're going to have an optimal lineup. You're going to have, enough quarterbacks on your team to cover yourself, enough running back depth, enough wide receiver depth, enough sleepers, enough bench spots, enough breakout potential on your bench. Everything encompassed in 16 rounds, guys. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com and get it today. And there's a link here below. And finally, I talked about it at the beginning of the show. I don't talk about products unless I really like them, and I don't deal with sponsors or people that I don't like or I don't feel they're offering value. And I've done a lot of, I'm a pretty hairy dude, and I've worked with a lot of shavers, and I've tried a lot of grooming products. And I'm telling you, man, this Manscaped, Lawnmower 3.0 is phenomenal. Like I said, no nicks and cuts. I mean, it cuts and grooms phenomenally. Now I'm making a mess here on my table, a lot of hair. But I'm telling you, there's literally no pain. It doesn't nick or cut you around your sensitive area, particularly you can use it there. You can use it on your chest, neck hair, little eyebrow hair, whatever it is. I don't care. But you got to get one of these. Head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION upon checkout. So as you're going to checkout, you punch it in. It's going to give you a significant discount. Order one of these, and they've got a bunch of other cool male products that you're going to like. You can clean your balls, before you go out on a date. There's a ton of cool stuff. Head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. All right, let's get into these wide receiver must-own guys, must-have guys, got to own, whatever you want to call it. Let's go through it, okay? First guy must-own is Devonte Adams. Now, I want to say this. There's a disclaimer here. There's a couple of things I want to talk about with Devonte Adams, okay? First and foremost, there is a chance. By the time of this recording, I recorded this August 6th. There is a small chance they are flirting with Antonio Brown. This is partly because they didn't acquire another wide receiver, which kind of scares me a little bit if you're if you're a Devonte Adams owner. Because imagine, and this is great for Aaron Rodgers potentially, if you are looking and thinking outside the box and you want that quarterback that has the upside if AB falls there, but it doesn't work well for Devonte Adams. Also doesn't work well for Allen Lazard. So this is a telling tale of how much they believe in Allen Lazard and Devonte Adams. By the way, Allen Lazard, big-time sleeper for me for Fantasy Football 2020. The way it sits right now, August 6th. But like I said, if Antonio Brown ends up landing on the Packers, I think it's going to deflate the value of Devonte Adams and, of course, Al Lazard, of course. Now, again, another disclaimer about Devonte Adams, and this is very, 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 very important, is he played 12 games last year. So he is, he's still high up there, but you gotta look at it and say, are they going to be going to Devonte Adams more? And the simple answer is yes, because they went to the run a lot more, 16 touchdowns on the ground for Aaron Jones. Are they going to be going more to Adams? And another big question mark is a two-part thing. Is Aaron Rodgers up to speed? Is he washed up? A lot of conversation about that, and I don't think so. I think he's good to go, and I think he's going to be solid this year. When you're looking at Aaron Rodgers, I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's going to come out strong, and I definitely like Adams and Aaron Rodgers. Again, those are the question marks. I'm going to be throwing more, and is Aaron Rodgers up to speed? Is Adams going to be fully good to go? And I think the answer is yes. I think we're going to be good to go. Adams is my number one receiver going into the season, unless they break Antonio Brown there. I mean, he's a must-have. Now, another disclaimer here, one last one, is I go robust RB, so I am missing out on Devonte Adams in a lot of drafts because I'm looking at targeted Josh Jacobs instead of an Adams there, or even maybe a Clyde Edwards-Helaire now, late round one, right? And then I combo him with a Todd Gurley or someone else, Leonard Fournette, whatever it is in the second round that I like at running back. So I am missing out on Devonte Adams, and that's okay. That's okay because I'm going to get a ton of other wide receivers I'm going to go over here with you that are must-haves that you get for value. They could possibly outperform Adams, okay? All right, another guy here, Julio Jones. Currently sitting number 3 on the consensus, 157 targets last year, 99 receptions, number 2 in receiving yards with 1394. This guy catches a lot of balls. Not only that, mainly what he does is he gets a lot of yardage after the catch. So he puts up a lot of yardage. Now, touchdowns, not the greatest, 6 touchdowns the year before, not many touchdowns before that. I think it was like 3 touchdowns, something like that. The guy doesn't get a lot of touchdowns, okay? That's understandable. They've got Calvin Ridley there. They've always had options, other options at tight end, stuff like that, right? They've had other options, okay, near the goal line. But the fact of the matter is you're going to get a lot of receptions, a lot of targets, a lot of yards. You're going to get a consistent wide receiver 1 every single year. The talent is there. The upside is there. Matt Ryan is angry this year. Chip on his shoulder. I love Julio Jones. But again, am I drafting him? I'm probably missing out on him simply because I am going with other guys. I'm going with running backs in the first round pick or second round pick. So again, I may miss out on Julio Jones again, but he's definitely a must-have if you're looking at wide receivers. Next guy here is Kenny Gaulde, sitting number 8 on the consensus rankings amongst wide receivers in PPR. Finished 9th last year, and I think he was hindered a little bit. I think his numbers could have been a lot higher. 116 targets, 65 receptions, 1,190 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Again, a lot of those touchdowns went to Marvin Jones, which I think Stafford will be gravitating more towards Gaulde. They've got a running game potentially with DeAndre Swift there this year, coming in as a rookie. Kerryon wasn't the guy. Hopefully that'll distract defenses and open things up for Gaulde. A healthy Hawkinson would be good too. Also, not only in the blocking game, but also being another target there that defenses will focus on, open things up for Kenny Gaulde. Still, a solid year considering the fact that he didn't have his primary quarterback throwing him the ball. He's healthy. He was on an opt-out list along with Stafford. Both of them healthy, good to go. Knock on wood. I'm excited. Kenny Gaulde is a must-have, and he's great value. This guy could finish top 3, top 5, and you're getting him in potentially late second, early third. Great value, Kenny G, okay? Next guy here is 5th round steal, in my opinion, and the guy I'm talking about is T.Y. Hilton. Why? Because if healthy, could be a phenomenal target. We already heard Coach Frank Wright say that he loves T.Y. Hilton. Everything in that offense goes through the veteran T.Y. A guy who hasn't had a good quarterback since Andrew Luck. Understandable that, injury and lack of good quarterbacks has brought him down in value. That's why he's a steal. Currently sitting 26th on the consensus rankings, everybody. I love T.Y. Hilton. What great value here. Now, one thing I do look at is Keenan Allen's numbers last year. Keenan Allen actually had a pretty decent year. Now, he finished 6th amongst wide receivers, 149 targets for Keenan Allen, okay, on 104 receptions, over 1,000 yards. That's something to look at when you are looking at T.Y. Hilton because it was Rivers throwing the ball. Now, if Rivers can target Keenan Allen 149 times, that tells me that potentially T.Y. Hilton could get similar targets. Let's say he even gets targets at 130. Let's be a little conservative here. And they've got Michael Pittman, who's also another must-have, which we'll get to in a second. But I absolutely love T.Y. Hilton at a 5th round value. If you do get T.Y., make sure you get Pittman as well. Now you're potentially getting a wide receiver 1-2 on a offense where Rivers throws the ball a lot, has a good O-line, and will get the ball to him, okay? Number 5 here, DJ Shark. Listen, DJ Shark currently sitting 25th amongst wide receivers. T.Y. Hilton was 26th. These guys are both coming off in and around the 5th round. Both wide receiver ones on their team. And this is why I'm telling you can go running back heavy this year and get wide receiver ones in the 5th round. But it doesn't work on the reverse end. If you go heavy, heavy wide receiver, you cannot get, RB1s in the 5th round. I mean, maybe David Montgomery, Cam Akers could be potential RB1s, and I think they're great value there, but it works better if you load up on those running backs, okay? So DJ Shark is a guy that I like. 118 targets last year, 73 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 1,008 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's going to go up. Minshew and him hopefully have a better rapport this year. It's going to be a solid connection. I like this. I like Shark. I like Minshew. I like the connection. Could be really solid, okay? I've got 5 more names here for you. Again, before I get into these last 5 names, make sure you guys leave your fantasy questions below. Very important, leave those questions below. And of course, smash thumbs up. It really helps the channel. It means a lot to me. It takes a second of your time. Smash the thumbs up. And of course, get that 16-round draft solution. Don't wait, guys. It's literally, you're going to be so impressed by, oh my God, that guy's optimal. Look at, last year I helped everybody stay away from Le'Veon Bell round 1, Odell Beckham round 1, Antonio Brown round 2. Who else was there? Damian Williams round 2. I helped you guys dodge a lot of bullets the year before. Stay away from Gronkowski round 1. Get George Kittle round 10. I'm really, really good at spawning out potential breakouts and putting them on your roster so you have that bulletproof or as close as bulletproof roster as possible. So make sure you guys get the 16-round draft solution at thefantasyfootballcouncil.com or, of course, link below. All right, next guy that I must have is Deontay Johnson. Now, listen, this guy, sitting 39th on the consensus rankings, which is, I think it's a shame. 92 targets, 59 receptions, 680 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I know you're looking at that and thinking, that's not exciting. Listen, they have him 39th because last year he finished 41st. So the consensus aren't looking at the big picture and the big ceiling here for Deontay Johnson. Why is it a big ceiling? I'll tell you why. Let's analyze this, okay? You look at Juju, a guy who's not a proven wide receiver 1, and then you look at Antonio Brown not being there, so there's a void there. Now, if you go back to the 2018 season, not the season where Big Ben was hurt, but now from what we're hearing reports, Big Ben's good to go. He's lost about, I don't know what he's lost, 15, 20 pounds. He's lost some weight. He feels the best that he's ever done. He feels really good. From what I heard from an interview from Deontay Johnson, his arm is good. He's throwing just as good as he ever did, and he's pinpoint accurate, which is really good. Big Ben, I think he's underrated in regard to the big scheme of quarterbacks. When you look at the Peyton Mannings and the Bradys, he is a good quarterback. As a person, not really crazy on Big Ben. I heard he's got a huge ego in the locker room, but that's not what it's about. It's about fantasy right now. But anyway, when I'm looking at Deontay Johnson, the Sheeps is the mainstream aren't looking at the big picture and the huge ceiling. Again, going back to 2018, which I was going off on a tangent on here, I was kind of talking about here. 2018, when you look at the targets of Antonio Brown and Juju, 168 targets for AB, 166 for Juju back in 2018. In fact, Big Ben actually led in attempts and passing yards. So he's a guy that throws a lot of volume and throws it relatively accurately, and he puts that ball to the receiver. So when you look at Deontay Johnson, I'm looking at a guy who's shown flashes of greatness last season. He's drawn comparisons to Antonio Brown, obviously not as good, but you never know. Now, Deontay Johnson, again, going in and could potentially be the wide receiver 1. And again, Juju, not sold on him being the wide receiver 1. So I look at the volume of the opportunity, Big Ben, and I look at Deontay, I'm seeing a lot of high ceiling. Now, I watched some tape here on Deontay last year, and basically one guy was kind of highlighting certain things. And the fact of the matter is a lot of the balls weren't where they should have been. So that's why he wasn't getting a lot of those balls. He could have ended up with a lot more fantasy points last year, but he had some scrub quarterbacks throwing him the ball. Big Ben here, Deontay, high ceiling. And again, make sure you combo Deontay with a Claypool after you get Claypool for late free, and you can get Deontay after the 7th, 8th round, okay? All right, number 7 here, Brandon Cooks. I think this is a no-brainer for me as a guy I can get in and around round 8. I mean, he falls. This guy falls. You can get him anywhere from as early as round 7 to round 8, 9, 10. It depends. Your league might not like him. A lot of people are being drawn into the Will Fuller pull, but I think Cooks is the guy, and you've got 150 freed up targets that DeAndre Hopkins left there. So Cooks, predicated he's healthy, I think he'll be solid unless they, again, bring in someone else. This team was also flirting with Antonio Brown, which bothers me a little bit, but I think if it stays the way that it is, Cooks is an absolute steal. Currently sitting 35th amongst the wide receiver. Can Sheeps' rankings, but I love the upside here, okay? Next guy here, again, this is no particular order, just guys I must have. AJ Brown. Okay, I looked at Brown. I'm like, Antonio, and I saw an A. I'm like, missed the J. AJ Brown. Currently sitting number 18 amongst the rankings. Now, listen, I'm really high on Ryan Tannehill this year. I think he's an absolute steal. This guy could be a top 3 quarterback in fantasy. Yes, you heard it here first. Now, everyone's sleeping on Tannehill, but he's got a great O-line. He's got Derrick Henry there, and he's got A.J. Brown, who's going to force feed targets to. And I think we've got ourselves a viable wide receiver one with a high ceiling. Last year, still managed to get 1,000 yards, right? 1,051 yards, 8 touchdowns, only 84 targets. That's definitely going to go up this year as he was kind of getting into the groove, finding his own. He's coming back. He's going to have a big year. I love A.J. Brown, okay? 2 more guys, they're rookies, and I really feel this is the year that rookies could actually make an impact at the wide receiver position, and these 2 guys could be plug-and plays because I look at the situation, the scenario, where they fall in, the targets that are available potentially for them, and what quarterback is throwing them the ball. And I got to go here, number 9. I got to go to Justin Jefferson. Love the value, love the talent. Now, this guy could be a wide receiver 2 with 150-plus targets opened up with Diggs being gone. Jefferson, LSU, wide receiver, groomed, ready to go, coming in, plug and play. I mean, he's going to take some time to learn that playbook and get into the groove, obviously get his timing right with Cousins, but I'm definitely seeing a ceiling here for him and a guy you can get for huge value. I mean, he's sitting 52nd on the consensus rankings amongst wide receivers. Jefferson, a guy that could boom. And another guy here, again, we talked about it, is Michael Pittman, and both Jefferson and Pittman were the first pick by the respective teams. So you got to understand that they've invested high draft capital, these teams, so they believe in these wide receivers, which means they're going to play. If I'm drafting a guy as my first pick, I'm going to definitely run him. I'm going to play him. I'm going to put him in, okay? So Michael Pittman's a guy that I can get, and I can handcuff T.Y. Hilton due to the injuries of T.Y. Hilton, and a guy that could really emerge as a primary target for Rivers, okay? So there it is. These are my must-haves. There is obviously more here. I limited to 10 here. And again, I talk about more in my 16-round draft solution. Head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get it. And of course, guys, head on over to manscaped.com and treat yourself to a lawnmower 3.0. And they have other cool products, and use promo code SHOWERLION, guys. That's it. So that's it, guys. Leave your thumbs up, and I will see you guys next video. We're going to be doing a top 10 wide receiver episode next week with Tim the Bald Guy, and stay tuned for more amazing content, guys. Thank you for being here. Fantasy football season is upon us. Get excited, man. This is it. It's been a crazy year. Now is the time to enjoy. We will talk soon. Thank you.